Welcome back, everyone. My name's James. This is Making Friends, and I've got a great and relevant topic for you today. It's perfect for this time in the quarantine that'll help you big time in your social circle. Today, we're talking all about connecting with friends, reconnecting with old friends, and building those current relationships using every tip and creative idea available to us in this quarantine. If y'all are ready, let's go make some friends. Hey, we are cruising. You guys are really missing out this morning. Welcome, welcome. I'm pumped to get into this one, but I want to make sure our mentality is in the right place before we jump in. The time of quarantine definitely has its challenges in terms of building new friendships, but it has a ton of opportunities for building current relationships. So today we're going to cover two things. One is going to be tools and mediums that I use to reach out to friends, and I'm going to give you my pros and cons and when I think you should use each. I think it'll be really helpful for you guys. And two is my top 3 creative ways and reasons why you're reaching out to an old friend. These ideas are effective, but they're also really fun, and I've worked them in my own personal experience. So the question you should be asking yourself when going through all of this is, how can I best connect with this person that's authentic, not weird, and fun? All right, that's it. Let's do this thing. So I'm gonna list 7 ways from worst to best that you can connect with old friends. So tool number 1, email. No one really uses email anymore to actually connect with people. I just included this one on this list because there's certain people that you only have their email for, like an old professor or maybe a coworker or an old boss, and it's not a bad way to get connected. The cons are just that it can be easily lost in the shuffle because people have thousands of emails in their inbox. The plus side of email is that it's relatively quick and easy, and it's relatively personalized, so that person thinks that you're thinking of them a little bit more than maybe a text. Which brings me to the next tool of texting. Texting has a lot of pros, but it also has a lot of cons. The pros are ultimately that it's quick, it's really easy. If you have someone's number, you could send a text out in 5 seconds. The cons are that it's not unique at all. People text thousands of times a day. That being said, it is a great way to reach out to a lot of people. You can scroll right through your contact list and start sending out a ton of different text messages. Okay, my third best way is actually a direct message on social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be. Ultimately, this is, I think, a better way than texting because it's a little bit more personalized and it gives you the opportunity to reach out to people that you didn't have their phone number for. My only piece of advice for using social media is that don't make it weird because people use social media for a lot of weird things these days. Okay, my 4th best way to connect is group conferencing apps. So Zoom, Google Hangouts, Microsoft Teams, doesn't matter what you use, they all pretty much do the same thing. The one thing I really like about this is that it's live. You can see people's body language, you can smile, and I would say the only real downside to this is that people are probably a little bit sick of it during the quarantine. They probably had tons of these for work and business and even friends and happy hours and whatnot. They might be a little bit burned out, but that's really the only negative I have about this because you can get a ton of people together and bring your group of friends back together and reconnect with old friends that way. Okay, my 5th favorite way to get in touch with people is actually physical mail. And the reason being is that it's so underutilized today. It's very rare to receive mail from a friend, right? You get mail for credit cards, you get mail for junk mail, but when you get a handwritten letter from someone, you know they put a ton of time into it, and you know that they actually went through the effort of getting the stamps, getting the envelope, putting it together, dropping it in the mailbox, and so it shows an extra level of care. I actually have a stack of envelopes and letters and stamps on my desk so that I can do it really quick. And there's tons of reasons why you would reach out to someone by mail. I would say the biggest downside is ultimately that you need people's addresses, which is kind of hard to come by these days. But you can also get really creative in getting their addresses as well. Or just shoot them a text randomly and say, hey dude, what's your address? Right? It's really that simple. My 6th and second to last tool that I really like is calling. And I have a background in sales, so I've used the phone a lot, so I'm very comfortable on it. So that's why I really like this medium. But I like the live, and I like the fact that it's one-on-one. That's the biggest difference I see in a Zoom call where you see someone and a phone call is because ultimately it's one-on-one, so people can be more vulnerable one-on-one rather than in a group where maybe they are a little bit more apprehensive. I also like calling because it's really quick. You have a list of contacts you can go down, you can touch their button, and you're connected to them in a second. I would say a tip for this, because it is a more intimate type of medium, is ultimately have a voicemail prepared so if someone doesn't answer, it doesn't just sound weird or goofy. You actually have a couple things you wanted to say. Hey, I really miss you. I just scrolled past your name in my contacts list. Just wanted to check in with you. Hope you're amazing. Talk to you later. Bye. Right? Something really simple and to the point where they're not weirded out, because it can be a little bit weird if you're not that tight with this person. And ultimately, my favorite way to connect with people is FaceTime, because it's one-on-one, like I said, for calling, and you get to see their body language, you get to smile, you get to laugh. This one, ultimately, you want to do with people you have a little bit more connection with, but at the same time, I downloaded an app called House Party, and on that app, you can basically connect and FaceTime anyone on that list. And an old friend who I haven't heard from in a long time FaceTimed me randomly, and it was perfect. We just caught up right away. And so I really, really like FaceTime, but be careful and make sure that you're wearing pants, because that's an important one as well. Okay, now for my favorite part, my top 3 favorite connection ideas. My own personal rule of thumb here is if you can't think of one genuine, authentic, positive thought about someone, then it's probably not worth it to reach out to them, because it's going to be inauthentic and come across as surprising and weird rather than surprising and exciting. So my first creative idea in terms of connecting with people is to reference past items or gifts people have given you. Now I'm going to go around my house and I'll show you some of the gifts that I can find just out of the blue, but a couple things to keep in mind here is that the goal is to find items that have sentimental value to you and a friend that would ultimately bring your relationship stronger together. What I typically do is I'll take a photo or a video of me with that item and I'll text it to my friend with a little blurb or something like that. And what I really like about this idea is that not only does it show your friend that you're thinking of them and you're grateful for them, but also that you're grateful and you're actually using a gift that they had given you. Think about it this way, wouldn't you want to know that a gift you gave someone months, years, decades ago actually gets used by them and that they still appreciate it today? Wouldn't you be more inclined to give a gift to someone like that rather than someone who you've given a gift that maybe you put a ton of time into and ultimately you haven't heard anything from them and you go to their house and you can't find it? You would be much more likely to get another gift for someone like that that really deeply appreciates it and tells you how grateful they are. And that's the same way that we want to be for other people that give us gifts. Blocus, family's favorite game. Not a gift from anyone, I think I bought that myself. But the beauty is I can hit them all up and say, hey, looking forward to playing with you guys. Love you, all that good stuff, right? Now this is a cool gift. This is for my roommate, but at the bottom, the friend that gave it to them actually wrote her name in there. Taylor Chavez 2013. That's a good tip for marking time with your gift so people know when you actually did it. Gift from a church friend, my old pastor. These two, the workbook and this, I met a guy in a coffee shop who ended up being really helpful to me in my emotional journey, and he suggested both of those and I've gone through and it's helped immensely. That would be a perfect one to reach back out and say, thanks again for that, man. Great to meet you, right? Keep that connection alive. Gift, gift, gift from 3 different people. Gift, gift, gift for my brother, gift for my sister. Now those were just books. Now I have all these photos. I mean, anything to make a connection, right? These ones, I actually put this together with my friend, so I could text him a picture of this wall and say, hey, I still got this up, right? Wouldn't that be great? This one as well, this was actually a gift from another friend with a bunch of random pictures from our past. So it's just, there's anything to get connected, right? Down here, every one of these little things was a gift. Gift, 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 gift. This was a gift from my sister. This was a gift from my friend. This was from my sister from her honeymoon. Little things like this, mints. This was a party favor at my other friend's wedding. I'd love to say, hey man, that was such a fun time. Perfect seeing you. Congrats again. Clothing, tons of clothing gifts. Ties, most of these ties have been gifts, right? You just think of ways to connect with people. Okay, creative idea number 2. I call this one the special occasion outreach. This one is all about having a real, genuine reason for reaching out to someone based on a life event that's happening for them. And it doesn't have to be positive, although I suggest doing something positive like they just graduated or they got married or engaged or it's their birthday, something like that. But this could also be a time of condolences for maybe a death in the family or a loss of a job, right? People need support for that just as much as they need positivity and encouragement for something good that happened. So I rely heavily on social media for this one in particular because you can scroll through Facebook and even if it's someone that you aren't that close to or you've disconnected from, but maybe you were close in the past or you want to continue to build that relationship, you can see if they posted something on Facebook or they posted something on Instagram, whether it was good or bad or otherwise. It gives you a direct opportunity to reach out and direct message them, or if you have their phone number, you could FaceTime them, call them, text them, depending on your guys' relationship. So this is a really easy one, and I'm gonna give you another tip. Something I did in the past was I thought of my top 20, 30, 40 friends, whatever it may be, and I went to Facebook, and on their profile page, you can actually go to their info, and most of them have their birthday listed. Now, what I did from there is in my contacts, even if I didn't have their phone number, you can still put a contact in your phone. I'm using an iPhone, and I'll put their name, and then I'll put their birthday, and it'll automatically go on my calendar, and I think the default is a week heads up. So you can even send out a piece of mail for their birthday, and they're like, oh my God, this guy remembered my birthday and he sent me a letter. That's a really amazing thing, and that gets a great impression, and you're likely to get a call back, a text back, and that's a great start to a relationship, even if it's brand new. Now, my third creative way is pretty fun. I love this one. So this one, you're gonna wanna get your old high school yearbook. You can reach out to someone based on their quote that they had in here, from their funny high school photo, from an old group or sports team that you guys were a part of. There's so much in here. And it also doubles because I don't know where you're at in your life, but for me, my 10-year high school reunion is next year, and this is gonna be an amazing way to start building friendships with people that I really respect and I want to get to know more. And so I think this is an excellent way to start building relationships with old friends. So there you have it, my top 3 creative ways to reach out to friends with all of my tools and mediums that I use. I'll include a couple links below that you can reference if you want some advice on what tools to use. But I think you guys got plenty of ammo here for this week's action item, which is gonna ultimately be use one of these creative ideas, reach out to a friend this week, and reconnect with someone. Ultimately, I'd love to hear about what you guys are doing, even if it's something that's not from this list. So please feel free to leave a comment below. I read them all. And if you really like this video, please subscribe, turn on notifications, because I'm gonna be sending out content every Friday. I hope you guys had an excellent week. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Cheers.